Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I got mine. So, listen. Well, before I get started, let me say thank you to Bonnie. Bonnie, thank you so much for your wonderful, wonderful support of the Library Pantry. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, dear. So, you know what I was thinking about when I was in my garden yesterday? I spent most of my day in my garden yesterday. And you know what I was thinking about? Remember the conversation I want to piggyback. Wait, before I get started going there, let me say something else real quick. Let me say something else. Because I feel like I need to say this again. There are almost 12,000 of you over here, and there are 31,000 of you over on TikTok that follow me, and that's a lot of people. And mind you, I am not saying that you're not important, because I don't want to come off like that. You're all very important. We're all important. But I am one person again. And I tend to be a bit of an introvert. I have learned in life in these years that the only way to keep and maintain peace is to protect it. And how you protect your peace may not be how I protect my peace, you know. But one of the ways that I protect my peace is that I don't do DMs, direct messages, emails. If I take an email from someone, I got to do emails from everybody. That's all 40 some thousand of y'all, you know. And then I'm back to, I try to make it a point, if you all noticed in my comments, to acknowledge every comment. I do my best, and that takes a lot of time because once again, it's a lot of y'all and it's one of me. And I try, when you all make your comments on my platform, I try to at least do something to let you know that I see her. Even if I don't reply to it with words, I will use an emoji to let you know, hey, I see you. And I hear you. But when y'all start direct messaging me, that's a lot of people. And if I respond to every direct message, then that means that I don't have time to read. I don't have time to garden. I don't have time to grow myself. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to clean. I don't have time for my library pantry. I don't have time to volunteer in my neighborhood, to which I do all of that. I don't have time for me. I don't have time for my husband. I don't respond to direct messages. I don't do emails. I don't do one-on-one conversations. And you can't take that personal. Instead, I'm asking you to think once again that I am one person and you all are tens of thousands. And I just can't do it. I can't do it. And it's one of the ways that I maintain my peace. So you all can't get bitter or angry or take that personal. It's ridiculous for you to do that. And honestly, and this is just honestly, a lot of those messages, they could have been said down in the comments. Could have been said down in the comments. It doesn't take I get some people are lonely and they want to reach out and they want to make connections. I am not that person for you. I'm just one-on-one, maintaining, online friendships with multiple people. I don't have the bandwidth for that. It's not about you, it's about me. I just don't have the bandwidth for that. I know how much energy I have. I know how much good energy I have to give away. And that's too much. That's asking for too much. And I'm putting up a boundary and I'm asking y'all to please respect it. And that's just the truth. Listen, let me talk about what I want to actually talk about today. I hope y'all heard me on that. Let's talk about what I want to actually talk about today. Remember what I was talking about yesterday and we were talking about rent and all that and everything? I want to piggyback off that conversation, circle back around to it. Couple of things. I know that it's tough out here, but homeowners and people who rent out their properties, if you have your tenant paying the water bill, responsible for the water bill, please know that they are taking your property, the utility companies, and if the water is doing it, it'll be just a matter of time before electrical is doing it. What they're doing is when you don't pay these bills, they are putting a lien on your property and they are taking the property out from up under you. This is another move to steal the property of the poorest people who are Black people. So make sure, long gone are the days where you could just sit on a big water bill. Make sure you paying your water bill. Okay, because this is what they are doing in some states. I don't know if it's all states. I didn't go that far in my research, but in some states, they are actively doing this, seizing property over high water bills. So make sure that you are keeping your water bills, homeowners, paid up, okay, so that they can't put a lien on your property. And if you rent your property out and the tenant is responsible for the water bill, you might want to just incorporate that into the rent and pay the water bill yourself, because if they leave with a high water bill and you don't know you got a high water bill, and then the next tenant comes and puts a water bill in their name, and these water bills are still at your address, they can take your property, and they're going after these properties now. I don't know if they could always do that, but this is what's going on. So I just want y'all to be aware about that. Anyway, and along that same subject matter, yesterday we were talking about rent, high rent, and things of that nature, and rent to own scams and rental scams and everything. And it got me to thinking when I was in my garden yesterday how, I hate to say it, but white supremacy has caused a lot of Black people to not trust other Black people. We don't trust our own people. I remember when I first started the Library Pantry, I had Black people looking at me like I was crazy. Don't get me wrong, now everybody is so complimentary about it. Excuse me. They're so, way to go. It's such a great thing for the community. But when I first said that I wanted to do it, Black people were kind of looking at me like, but why? And excuse me, it was something, I knew that it was something that our community needed. I knew that it would help Black people. But Black people didn't understand my motives. They didn't feel like I could just be doing it to just help Black people. Like there had to have been some kind of, underlying factor going on. Something nefarious is going on. I don't know how anything could be nefarious about giving away food. I don't know if they thought I was going to poison them. I don't know what they thought. But when I first said that I wanted to do it, and I was kind of filling out people in the community, people were just kind of like, and if not for the kids, excuse me, it's going to be one of those mornings. If not for the kids coming and telling their parents how great it was, the adults probably wouldn't have come. Like I said, we get a lot of unhoused people too. And it just saddens me how we Black people, us Black people, don't trust one another because white people don't trust us. And they have taught us not to trust each other. Well, I remember when I was looking to buy my house, I did like a lot of research. Research, that is one of those areas where I gotta say, I am a gifted talent. I wish I could figure out how to make some money doing it. I really do. But I'm really good at research. But I don't have a degree in it or anything. I was always that kid that liked to do a book report when I was growing up, or a research paper. I tend to be very highly organized. And it's always come very natural to me. So I researched the states. I researched all of the buying programs, federal, state, city. I looked at, I eliminated states. We knew we wanted to go someplace with warmer weather. We were sick and tired of the Michigan winters rather. And we knew we wanted to go someplace warm. And we knew that we had to go someplace that was a lot cheaper than where we were if we were going to be able to make it in this economy, because I was seeing what the economy was doing and I was seeing what rent was doing. And that was what prompted me to start looking to buy in the first place, was rent was getting higher. And once prices get to a certain point, they're not going back down. You know what I'm saying? This is America. Once something, you know, is high, it's hard to get it to go back down. And so I had the conversation with my husband and I said, you know what, in another 10, 20 years, we are not going to be able to comfortably afford rent. We're going to have to buy. And so I did research to the different states, the different programs, the different types of homes. I did a large amount of research on manufactured homes. One thing I can tell you about that, at the end of the day, even though that packet that I did was about this thick, after I would run off everything on my machine so that I could, you know, I could probably could have gotten all of that stuff and put it in a book like this and sold it. I promise you I got a point. And I probably could have put it in a book and sold it like Pamela did. But the one thing I can tell you about manufactured homes, unless you own the land that that bitch is on, don't buy one. So many people, because I thought it was, you know, a way to build a better mousetrap too. You know, like I looked into them, and then some of them are really, really nice. And I thought maybe we can buy a nice one in Florida somewhere. Well, you know, all the racism, you know, we looked around Lakeland, Florida, and it was just so racist. Everyone we called, they would hear the sister, the blackness in my voice, and it's, oh no, we don't have anything available, you know, and I would get that over and over and over again. But so many of these white people who were retired were selling these manufactured homes. And I thought to myself, well, what's up with that? Why are they selling these homes? I really wanted to know. And come to find out, long story short, that private equity was coming in and purchasing up all these lots. And they were driving up the price of the lots. So meaning they owned the manufactured homes, which were relatively cheap. You could get a really good, nice one for about $20,000. Really nice one. And then you would pay your lot rent. And, you know, in a lot of old white people, or, you know, because we were looking in a senior area, were living a nice life until private equity came along. And private equity is basically doing the same. They did the same thing to these manufactured home lots that they're doing to a lot of the single family homes here in America now. They're buying them all up, driving the prices way, 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 way up. So if you are living in a manufactured home and you don't own that land that's up under it, you're paying lot rent, I would really, really, really prepare myself. And this is not me trying to scare you. This is just, you know, me saying I would really prepare myself to one day be forced out due to private equity. But anyway, we looked up under, I did all this research. And then when I was done with it and I went through the process and everything, I used both a federal program and a state program to buy my house. Excuse me, the city program didn't exist anymore for here in South Carolina. And when I was able to do it successfully, the first thing that I wanted to do was to share with black people. First thing I wanted to do, I wanted to tell all the black people I knew. I wanted to put them on game. You know, I almost had my oldest son, but he chickened out and he didn't buy a house. And this same son is now in a situation that, I'll just say, you know, not putting his business out there, but in a situation that he doesn't want to be in, because when he had the chance, the opportunity to listen to me and buy his own house using these same programs, he didn't do it. Now, mind you, this is all information that I could have packaged and sold, but I was willing to give it away free. And whenever I would talk to Black people and tell them about it, listen, and this is just the truth, Black people were treating me like I was some kind of scam artist, like I was trying to scam them on something. Now, I don't know what the scam would have been. I'm not a realtor. I'm not someone that buys and flips homes. I wasn't charging any money. It was just free information, completely free information that it took me months upon months upon months to research, print it all out, divide it up, put it into packets, and I would have ran it off for anyone who wanted it. And let me tell you how many Black people, most of whom, all of them, as a matter of fact, rented, mind you, were in rental situations. Guess how many of them wanted this information and trusted it? You guessed it. Not one. Not one. Well, fast forward. My husband and I were in South Carolina, bought our house and everything successfully. We're posting pictures online of me gardening, him barbecuing, us just traveling around South Carolina, that kind of thing. And then people started asking about how we were able to do it. Well, by this time, and I regret that I did it, I threw out all the information. I don't have the information anymore. And I definitely wasn't willing to do all that research anymore, at least not a second time, and for free. I was willing to give it out free the first time, not the second time. That would have been, that was significant work that I did for myself anyway, so why not? But now you're asking me to go back in and do this research for you. So I told them to research state, local, and city programs. Anyone can access that. Well, Black people didn't want the information because they didn't want to do the research. Now, I don't know if it's because they didn't trust themselves to do their own research. They knew that it worked for me, and the proof is in the pudding. But they literally wanted me to take them to the water, pick up the cup, put the cup up to their mouth while they sipped. They just were not willing to do their own work. I say all this to say, as an activist, I've always done the things that I've done out of my love for Black people. And it's really hard to see us not trust each other to the degree where we screwing ourselves out of home ownership. You know what I'm saying? It's and like I said, I wasn't charging anybody. I didn't ask for $1 for the information. It was just free. I was just, any questions, I made myself available for. I was like, if you got any questions, people wanted me to do the work for them, like to actually fill out all the paperwork, do the work for them. And now when you're talking about something like that, then yeah, we're going to have to talk about a payment plan. But this was free information, completely free, on how they could go from being a renter to being a homeowner. Completely free information. And Black people did not take advantage of it. And I'm sad to say, because they didn't trust the information. I could have helped so many people. White supremacy has convinced us not to trust each other, not to believe each other. Black people had a hard time believing that I just wanted to help because I was in a position to do so. White supremacy has talked us out of community, allyship. It has taken so much away from us, and we have to find our way back to community and in more ways than one. We are supposed to use each other, not in the way that we're doing it though, but we are supposed to share resources, information. We're not supposed to gatekeep. I don't gatekeep. I'm not going to repeat myself a million times, but I don't gatekeep. I love black people. Why would I not help black people when I'm in a position to help black people? I would never not help black people. And we got to find our way back. That is all that I have for today. I hope that made sense. Just what I was thinking while I was out in my garden yesterday, harvesting the last of my summer crop. If you would like to support the Library Pantry, if you would like to buy me a cup of coffee, if you would like to support this platform, I will leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments. Y'all have a phenomenal day. Be nice to one another. If you are in a position to help other black people, help other black people. Because if we don't help each other, who gonna do it? Nobody else likes us. We have to like each other. We have to trust each other. We have to love each other. We have to help each other. Have a good one.